This first match is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Being led to the ring by his manager, Liz Savage. From Buffalo, Connecticut, 170 pounds, Ryan Anthony.
Ryan Anthony on the pad here with me. Big gun Frankie Arion.
Both of them getting quite a reception here in Bridgeport.
A bit of a cheering section.
But are they cheering for Brian or Liz?
Who cares, right? Such a gentleman.
I think Brian Anthony is anything but a gentleman.
And his opponent from Arioyn, Massachusetts, 170 pounds, Frankie Arion.
Here comes your boy.
I'm a big fan. He's not very well known down here in Connecticut. Obviously not as well as Brian Anthony. But Frankie Arion can bring it, believe me. Do not underestimate his...
Take a look at the way he hit the ring like a bullet there.
He will run over anybody that's in the ring with him. I dare Brian Anthony to underestimate him.
Well, what a way to kick off CCW back in Bridgeport Evolution.
It's great to be back after a few months' absence. Longer than a few months in Bridgeport.
Well, CCW running again with, there's a belt, Paul Roma, at the helm of the ship now.
We might see a new direction here at CCW. I mean, I'm sure we will. Paul Roma's going to take things under the reins, bring us to a new era. Brian Anthony demanding that ref Rich Bass check Frankie Arion again.
These two men sizing each other up now.
I think you're going to be surprised by the stature of Frankie Arion. He might be a small guy, but he will take it to Brian Anthony.
Well, Brian Anthony backing off after a drag out of the collar elbow there. Brian Anthony showing off the guns.
There with Big Guns Frankie.
Frankie very modest, not taking the time to show up his competitor. It's a big hip toss there from Brian Anthony.
A lot of elevation in that one.
That was a quick, strong hip toss there, right out of the collar elbow tie-up. Brian Anthony got right underneath where he needed to be and just threw Frankie Arion over. It does seem that way.
I don't know. That might be something you might want to look out for.
Well, Frankie doing some damage to those muscles. Here's a drag. Arm drag at Arion. Hip toss. Keep the receipt. Arion fired up. Big drop kick there. Frankie Arion is hot tonight in Bridgeport.
Rubbing his face in it.
A little posturing there. It's acceptable. Brian Anthony back at his butt now. What's going on here? I came to see a wrestling match, Wild. I don't know about you.
Yeah, you gotta get Anthony back on his feet first. He seems to be too afraid to get in there with Frankie.
These two men very similar in size and stature. We've seen a great contest thus far. Opening up Evolution here in Bridgeport. And Brian Anthony with a knee lift. Fooling Frankie Arion going in for the collar elbow with a knee lift to the stomach.
I think you're going to see a little bit of a different side of Brian Anthony now that he knows that Frankie can step up to him.
Well, Frankie with a hammerlock here. Countering out of the headlock, countering Brian Anthony's headlock.
The advantage Frankie has of being so small is that Brian Anthony was looking to reach back and grab the head and couldn't do it.
Well, you saw there Frankie Arion powering Brian Anthony down on the mat. These two guys are spending a little time sizing each other up. And it looks like Frankie Arion is ready to start the damage. Anthony with a trip there, goes to the elbow, misses it. There's a drag from Frankie, locking in the arm bar. Frankie is capitalizing on what Brian is missing here.
His elbow is actually a lot more effective when the guy is there. Without him, it doesn't have the same effect.
Well, Frankie had the faculty to move out of the way there, hit the dragon. Locks in an arm wringer there, sends Brian Anthony over, leg drop to the arm. Arion working on the arm here.
Look at how he bars the arm with the knee and then cranks in with the wrist lock.
Very wise. There's the pin, and each time that Brian Anthony's forced to kick out of that is working on the shoulder. Here's a reversal. So Frankie Arion locks it right back in, rolls him back over onto his back, and locks that knee in the arm bar.
It was very wise of Brian Anthony. You know exactly where he was in the ring and how he could take advantage of that lock.
Well, Frankie Arion going back to the arm bar. Brian Anthony with a big body press. 2. I can't believe it, a 2 only from Brian Anthony. Frankie's still got some gusto left in him. Backing him up into the corner there.
Frankie won't go down quietly, don't worry.
Anthony opting not to go for the reversal, instead backs him in the corner, throws an elbow to the eye of Frankie Arion. Arion's in trouble here. Off the ropes, a reversal. Another dragon to Arion. Arion right back to his base. Arion's working a smart match here. He's going back to that arm, weakening it. I wouldn't be surprised if he used it to try and win the match.
It's all about picking a body part and kicking it and punching it and doing damage to it until it's no use to your opponent.
Well, Brian Anthony with a bit of a size advantage here, laying in the elbows as Liz Savage grabs the foot. Brian Anthony was going for the heel kick, missed it.
A little bit of miscommunication between Liz Savage and Brian Anthony.
Until they made up for it right there as Frankie turns around and gets met with a big clothesline.
The referee's got to keep a little bit more of an eye on Liz Savage at ringside.
Liz Savage is trouble. I can tell you that much. Arion now nursing that, rather Brian Anthony nursing that shoulder. Here's a side slam. Big side slam there, Brian Anthony. 2 only.
Being able to kick out of that huge side slam by Brian Anthony.
Well, he's still got his faculties here, you see. However, he doesn't look too good right now, face down on the mat, creeping on the ropes. Anthony now with an illegal choke. Come on, ref.
Oh, Liz Savage reaching in and grabbing the neck of Frankie Arion, continuing to choke, and the crowd is behind him. What kind of people do we have here in Bridgeport?
Quite a variety, Wild. Anthony there using his lower body to do damage to the back of Frankie Arion. Anthony hits the elbow.
We're not supposed to glorify cheating here.
Brian Anthony looks like he's going for a pump handle here. He's got Arion on the ropes. What a backbreaker, huge backbreaker there as the crowd is undecided who they want to get behind here tonight. Nonetheless, Wild, it's a hot match here to kick off Evolution. Brian Anthony now locking in a clutch.
Sorry, go ahead.
Stretching out the back there. Arion, what were you going to say, Wild?
What I don't understand about Brian Anthony's method here is that he does a huge power move, like a pump handle backbreaker, and doesn't follow it up with a pin attempt. And it just shows you can't make those kind of mistakes. That just shows that he's new to wrestling. I mean, he's been wrestling for a little while, but he should know that by now. You follow it up with a pin attempt. If that doesn't work, then you go for a submission.
Anthony, nonetheless, a skilled worker, very skilled worker. 2 count there after the crowd getting behind Arion. Arion began working to his feet until Brian Anthony cut him off.
Brian Anthony signaling the end. I wonder what we're going to see here.
Brian Anthony taking some time to get to the top rope there. Here's a big moonsault. Anthony misses the moonsault. Frankie Arion is going to capitalize right now.
Here comes Frankie, punches to the face.
Frankie with the whip off the rope, reversal by Anthony. Watch out for Frankie here.
Hip up, and the straps are down.
Frankie
Taking him to school.
Frankie is fired up here. This could be the end.
Here in the crowd, slightly chant, Frankie, Frankie. They're getting behind him, slow.
Inverted atomic drop to an atomic drop there. Frankie Arion working over Brian Anthony here. Frankie looking for... Oh! What a huge move, Wild. Did you see that? Anthony has got to make the pin here. Oh my God! Wild! How did he kick out of that?
Save some of your energy early in the first match. I can't believe it either.
Frankie Arion now has got to find a way to beat Brian Anthony. He's not going to do it by running into his elbow.
Get him up, Fireman's carry. Oh, the back. Brian Anthony, too much work on the back earlier in the match.
Wait a second, Anthony, it's a big move there. Anthony's foot on the ropes. Well, Brian Anthony gets a cheap victory here in Bridgeport tonight.
That's another thing I don't understand about Anthony's mentality. At that point, who even knew if he needed the ropes to win that matchup? He kept it nice and clean, hit that devastating maneuver, and taking it to 3. But no, he decided to use the ropes to take any chances because he knew the size of the heart of Frankie Arion.
Well, you know what? I don't think that much of that matters to Brian Anthony. I don't think he really cares.